What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? It's your boy BLB Talks, and I'm back. So, guys, we're looking at my first trade here, and this trade addresses my first need or my first hole for the 76ers, and that's shot creation. You're getting TJ Warren from the Indiana Pacers. You're getting Brandon Ingram from the New Orleans Pelicans. Two guys who can score on three levels, from the three, from the free throw line, and inside the paint. Mid-range game is nice on both of these fellas. Both of these young guys can knock down their free throws. So in late game situations, you can't just foul them, put them on the line. They're going to step it up, and they're going to do big things. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even have to be the first and second option, because you still got Joel Embiid, and you still got Tobias Harris. Well, not in this trade, but you still got Joel Embiid, right? So they just got to be the second and third option. And I think Brandon Ingram as a second option and TJ Warren as a third option. And this is coming from a Sixers fan, right? In the bubble, TJ Warren wiped us, bro. He destroyed us, demolished us. This is when Ben Simmons was still playing before he got hurt. And this dude, TJ Warren, I know he's been hurt the last year, but when he's healthy, when he's right, he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA, I have to say. I mean, I really love TJ Warren, and I would really like TJ Warren on the 76ers. I think that would be a step in the right direction. And Brandon Ingram, you're kind of swapping out a 23-year-old 2016 draft pick for another 23-year-old 2016 draft pick, and I think it's a good trade in this regard. Eric Bledsoe, somebody to just man the point guard position. I know he's not the greatest point guard in the world, but he's still serviceable, and I think having him kind of run the show, run the break, kind of play pick and roll with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, I think it's a good blend. And then the Pelicans, they get spacing around Zion, somebody who's been disgruntled in New Orleans. You're getting veteran help, you're getting three-point shooting, you're getting mid-range scoring, and you're getting a chance to make the playoffs, which the NBA has been trying to get the Pelicans to make the playoffs the last 2 years. I don't care what you tell me. The bubble was to get Zion in the playoffs. This play-in tournament is to get Zion in the playoffs, because the NBA wants Zion, one of their best attractions, to be on the biggest stage. And I think this trade right here can at least get him to that point. And then the Pacers, you get Ben Simmons, you get Lonzo Ball, you get to help your perimeter defense. Malcolm Brogdon is good, but he's not either one of these guys on the defensive end. Lonzo Ball was a 39% three-point shooter last year, so I think he actually fits really well with Ben Simmons if you did decide to play them in the backcourt. George Hill, IUPUI guy, from Indiana, played in Indiana with Paul George and the boys. Bringing him back in his career in Indiana just seems like a really good end of his chapter in the NBA. So really like George Hill, really like Ben Simmons, but I just don't think that they fit what we really need. And Tobias Harris, I hate to see him go, but to get Brandon Ingram, you got to kind of give the Pelicans at least another high-end scorer, and they get two with Tobias Harris and Malcolm Brogdon. All right, so the second trade I have here is the two-way help. And this one's we're just getting rid of Ben Simmons at this point. So Ben Simmons in the 2023 first round pick for DeJounte Murray, Derek White, and Lonnie Walker the fourth. Okay, and I think this really helps the 76ers, because you're getting DeJounte Murray, you're getting Derek White as your backcourt pieces. It moves Seth Curry to the bench, as I was saying, makes him a six-man type of player. You have a lineup of DeJounte Murray, Derek White, insert whoever you want at the small forward position, just a 3-and-D type of guy, with Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid. Is it going to make the playoffs next year? Yeah. Is it going to get us past the second round? Maybe. I do think if we had DeJounte Murray, Derek White, and Lonnie Walker instead of Ben Simmons this year, most certainly we would have got to the Eastern Conference Finals instead of Ben Simmons. But, guys are getting healthier next year. Teams are going to be coming back more ready, more prepared. Teams are going to make upgrades. I mean, I'm sure teams like Miami, teams like Toronto, who kind of underperformed this year, even Indiana, who underperformed this year, are probably going to come back with a few trades here and there to kind of buffer their chances and buffer their ability to win. And yeah, Lonnie Walker, I think he's just an automatic bucket. So if you decide after Seth Curry's contract is up, hey, we can't really afford him, I think a bench of Lonnie Walker and Tyrese Maxey just has electricity written all over it. I'm talking about instant buckets. So I really like this trade from the Spurs and the Sixers, and I really think it would help our issue with not having a lot of two-way help. And our last trade, and I know, it's one of those crazy, unrealistic trades. I get it. There's a lot going on the screen. I'll be the first one to admit that there is a ton, right? And if you can't keep up with all of it, I don't blame you. As I was doing the trade, I got lost like 2 to 3 times with the different names that were coming and going for each team. But I got the framework of something I think might be good if the Sixers decide to do a full reset. This is only if they hit the red button and they decide, hey, this thing ain't working at all, we need to blow it up. So the 76ers get 5 first round picks and a second round pick. 5 first round picks from the Detroit Pistons. Then you also getting Patrick Williams, you're getting Killian Hayes, you're getting Kobe White, and then you bringing back one of my favorite Sixers of all time, Thaddeus Young, and then a bunch of contracts that the other teams probably wouldn't want if they're trying to compete next year, right? And you have the Chicago Bulls. They're getting Mason Plumlee, an excellent backup big man, just in case they lose Daniel Tice this offseason. You're getting George Hill, who's I think a better version of Tomas Satoransky. He's a better shooter, and I think he would fit around Levine a little bit better. You giving them Seth Curry, who gives them a shooter off the bench, even more perimeter scoring. You got Jeremy Grant, who was sliding in that 4 position right next to Nikola Vukovic. He brings some defense. He brings some rebounding. He brings some defense. He brings some rebounding. He brings some intensity that the Bulls kind of need right now. They need one of those rugged guys who can also get you a bucket when you need it. And then you also bring in Ben Simmons, of course. And Ben Simmons, I think, would be that point guard, right? You have him and Zach LaVine in the backcourt, which is good because Zach isn't really known as a defender. So you got Ben Simmons to guard whoever's the better backcourt player out of the two, right? And then we got Ben Simmons, you got Zach LaVine, you got insert small forward here like Troy Brown Jr., I guess, Jeremy Grant and Nikola Vukovic. That team's making the playoffs next year, and it's a young team, so it can develop in the future as well. And then now you got Detroit. And the only reason I think Detroit would try to trade the first round pick is they're like, you know what, we're tired of losing. We're tired of being mediocre. We don't really want to do a rebuild. I don't know why they would want to do that. Because if I got a chance of keeping Cade, I'm keeping them. But this is only in the scenario where they looking at their roster, they looking at Cade, and they just like, you know what, we ready to win. We trying to win right now. You know what I'm saying? Our fans, you know, and Detroit fans are some of the best fans out there, man. Detroit fans, they rep their city. They love their city and they love their basketball. So I think if you're looking at it, like if you're Troy Weaver and you looking at it and you like, hey, you know, like our fans deserve better. I think this trade is not a bad one to make because you're getting yourself all NBA second team center, but let's be honest, he's an all NBA first team type of performer. You get Joel Embiid. He's got the injury history, but you have Beef Stew backing them up. So you got yourself a backup big, a very serviceable backup big, just in case Joel Embiid needs to miss a few games during the regular season. You're bringing back Tobias Harris, which I know makes a lot of Detroit fans happy, but he can bring those 20 points per game. He can help you on your defense. He can help you with your rebounding. He's just a solid all-around glue guy. I really like Tobias Harris on the 76ers. I don't think we should trade him, but given that contract situation, I think it's probably best if you're trying to rebuild, if you're trying to restart. And then you have Shake Milton, who's on a cheap contract, only making $2 million or $4 million in total over the next 2 years. The guy can score. He's a good secondary playmaker. He can even be your point guard at times. He can help run the team. And then you put those guys next to like a Sadiq Bey that's already on the team. You put those guys next to a Sadiq Bey who's already on the team, or like a Saban Lee, a bunch of young guys. And then, of course, Lauri Markkanen, who could easily step in as that starting 4. But if you want to make Tobias Harris the starting 4, he can easily be your backup. For $12 million over the next 3 years, I think that's quite the bargain for a young, up-and-coming sniper from downtown. And I just think he needs a fresh change of scenery, right? I mean, going from Chicago to Detroit isn't exactly the freshest of new beginnings, but it's not the worst either. So I really do like this for the Detroit if they're trying to compete now, right? So I think you got Sadiq Bey, you got Saban Lee, you got B. Stu, and then you got these 4 guys coming in. That's at least 6 rotational players, and you're gonna have some cap, at least your mid-level or biannual cap space to go and sign yourself some people. And I chose the Bulls and the Pistons because they're both teams that have kind of underachieved over the last few years, like when Detroit had Blake Griffin and Drummond, and they're teams that are kind of stuck in that mediocrity, that treadmill. And I think giving them an all-star for Chicago at the point guard position, along with plenty of shooting and defense and toughness, that's all that the Bulls need, to be honest with you, and they can be competing for a championship next year with this roster. And then you also got the Detroit Pistons, who, you know, they underachieved when they had Blake. They underachieved when they had Drummond. I guarantee you, if you got Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, you're not gonna underachieve that much unless your point guard can't shoot, obviously. Oh, I love that. I really do. I really do. But yeah. So these are my 3 trades. So yeah, guys, those are the 3 trades that I believe that the 76ers would be insane to pass up on. So guys, if you did enjoy, please hit that like button. That lets YouTube let everyone else know that you enjoyed the video, so that it will spread it to other people and let other people come and see the content. If they're Sixers fans or just basketball fans, want to see some crazy trades, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to supply the craziness and the chaos. So yeah, if you did like it, like the video, of course. Subscribe if you're new. This is a relatively new channel, so most of you are. So hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to grow this thing. I'm trying to really push out the best content I possibly can, and give you guys consistent content, right? I don't want to make it where there's 2 days in between me uploading. I'm gonna try to upload a bunch of videos at once and then try to shoot them out to you guys piecemeal. And if you guys enjoy it, I'll be able to tell by the views and the likes. If you don't, I'll try something else. But I'm really here to try to entertain, try to give you guys everything you want. So any suggestions that you might have in the comments, anything interesting that you would like to see me do, feel free to leave your opinions, leave your thoughts. And yeah, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video.